and welcome back to Sylph Scope. Today, we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna battle with Isma here, and he's gonna tell us the best Pokemon that you can use for the Kingdom Cup. Anyway, take it away, Isma.
Yes, right now, the meta as we know it looks like this diagram right here.
Ooh.
Where, I don't know where he'll put it.
It's here.
As you can see in the diagram, you can see this one illustrating the Kingdom Cup meta as a whole. You have the bulky steel types, which is Bastiodon and Melmetal, Lucario, Charizard, and then the dragon types, which is Flygon, Dragonair, and Altaria. Before we go all through that meta, let's dive into Lucario first. Lucario is technically the best.
Yeah, that's why he's in the thumbnail.
Yes, since it can beat one of the best, which is Bastiodon. Lucario has counter and power up punch, which is useful, so it can rack up the points in that counter. And it also has Shadow Ball, which is a good coverage move.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
And good thing you used this because its weakness is Charizard. Charizard can completely shut down Lucario. And Lucario can only beat it through the use of Shadow Ball, which is
it's taken a lot of damage from my Charizard.
Yes,
it should not have shielded. I'm an idiot.
I think you should have, because Lucario's Shadow Ball is very powerful.
Oh, I did not know that.
Another good powerful Pokemon is Bastiodon, which can defeat your Charizard. Bastiodon is one of the most bulky Pokemon in the meta. Plus, it has access to Smackdown.
Oh, fish, that's why.
Which can definitely beat Charizard very easily. And plus, though it charges very slowly, it has access to Flamethrower and Stone Edge. Right now, mine is not that move, so
those are the movesets that you want.
Yeah, not this one, not Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is very bad. Bastiodon goes down from Lucario very easily because of its double fighting weakness. And actually, another one that's useful to use against Bastiodon is this, Alolan Marowak.
Oh, I did not know that. I just picked it out of
which has access to Bone Club. Bone Club is a ground type, which is double weak.
That's why it's super effective. I keep choosing this by accident.
Yeah, you're actually using one of the better Pokemon on my end. And the next powerful Pokemon, the third most powerful Pokemon, I think, is Altaria. Altaria is generally a great Pokemon, even on General Great League. Altaria.
Yeah, I used to use Altaria on you when PvP started, and I remember you see, I have a shiny Altaria with the best movesets, Dragon Pulse and Sky Attack.
Yes, Dragon Pulse and Sky Attack.
I should have charged. I'm an idiot. No more shield. Oh, fish. Good thing is a bit buggy.
Yeah. And I should have used my Dragon Pulse. I thought you still have one shield. Anyway, that's the powerful moves. Judd is right. Dragon Breath, Dragon Pulse, and Sky Attack.
Yeah, I win in your face.
Yeah. Plus, the problem is with Altaria is that it doesn't have any good matchups against the most powerful ones. It just goes toe to toe, or even gets defeated by Lucario sometimes. It gets
with Shadow Ball.
Yeah, with Shadow Ball. It gets beaten hard by Bastiodon and also Melmetal. And the only thing it can beat in the higher up meta is Charizard. And it will even have a hard time in Charizard because it has Dragon Claw. And speaking of the other ones that gets defeated by Altaria, let's go to Melmetal. We also have
I should have not switched.
Yes. Melmetal defeats Altaria quickly because of its Rock Slide. It charges Rock Slide very quickly, and
it's good for the flying types.
Yes, because of Thunder Shock.
What is its best movesets?
It's Thunder Shock, Rock Slide, and Thunderbolt. Rock Slide and Thunderbolt charges very quickly.
But the better one is the Rock Slide for the flying types, right?
Yeah, and the good thing with Melmetal, you don't have to shield against Altaria because
Yes, because Melmetal is very bulky.
It's
Yes.
fine, but it's fine bulk, but it's great.
You can
great
see
typing.
why he's the one talking and not.
Yeah, it has great bulk. But
Yeah, but look at this. My Altaria is doing fine with Melmetal.
yeah, and I'm using. He has used 2 shields already.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why Altaria is doing fine. But
Yeah,
that's really a bad strategy because he would need to keep those
Yeah, because
shields.
after this, I would get a Charizard, and my Charizard has Blast Burn, and you have to have Blast Burn for Charizard.
Yeah.
Oh, Fish, I switched the wrong one.
Yeah.
No. I need to switch up.
Plus, because
Oh,
you didn't
Fish,
shield,
I shielded.
I have Rock Slide. Which is
Yes.
double weak to Charizard, which is already defeat Charizard.
Goodness
Hence, you
gracious.
keep shields.
Yeah, don't be like me. I always use the shields.
Next one that's useful. Speaking of Charizard, it is Charizard. We haven't talked about Charizard yet. Fire Spin, Blast Burn, and Dragon Claw.
I would
Because
spam Dragon Claw.
because
a
I
lot.
know that you don't have a second charge move, I would just not mind the Bone Club. Charizard, the problem with Charizard, unlike on this matchup, mostly Charizard is a bit frail. It's what they call it, it's squishy.
Squishy.
Most people call it squishy, I call it frail. You decide.
You just leave it down in the comments below. What do
Yes,
you call it?
I'm gonna switch to the next Pokemon we'll be discussing, which is Flygon.
Oh my
After
God.
after
I die, because this is obviously I'm obviously
Yeah.
gonna lose this match.
Yeah, Flygon, the only thing that's keeping Flygon from being relevant in this meta is the fact that it was Bastiodon and what's that called? Melmetal. Because of its dragon and ground typing, it is double resist to Thunderbolt and Thundershock. It resists Smackdown and Rock Slide because of its ground typing. And then it also was the fire typing, so it definitely is a great Pokemon against those types. Also against Alolan Marowak for some reason.
Plus, he's a fast attacker. Yes,
Yeah.
he has Mud Shot. He has Dragon Claw, and what's his ground
Stone
typing?
Edge and Earthquake.
Oh,
But on this
What is his best moveset?
on this meta, you'll probably look at stuff like Stone Edge and Earthquake because it will have a hard time on a Dragon type Pokemon. So why still bother on having a Dragon type moveset? But if you have Dragon Claw, you can actually bluff people. You would think that it would use Stone Edge, but it would use Dragon Claw. Hence, shield baiting. After Flygon, there's only one Pokemon that is worth mentioning in the meta itself, which is Dragonair.
Oh, and just a quick note, the Dragonair that he has, I just traded it to him. It's
Yeah.
96% HP defense Dragonair with the better movesets. What's its movesets that you need to have?
I think I didn't change the fast move, but it's just supposed to be Dragon Breath and Aqua Tail. But
That's what you want.
the other move you can use, I think it's Dragon Pulse, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
So you need to have 2 moves.
I think you should definitely have 2 moves. In PvP, generally, you have to have 2 moves, except for certain Pokemon like Skarmory. But yeah,
That's why I asked.
Dragonair is a great it's a great meta Pokemon just so it can defeat stuff like the fire types easily with its Aqua
Oh,
Tail.
fish. I'm using my Charizard.
Good thing I'm using Dragon Breath. That's good.
Yeah, I'm dying.
Dragon
so
Breath is not that fast to charge, but it's still powerful.
Yep, it's a dragon move.
And Aqua Tail charges relatively quickly with Dragon Breath.
I need to
So
shield this. It's an Aqua Tail for Charizard. I
yes,
would quickly go down.
yes, and that is I think one of the only few Pokemon that you should have a focus on. But there's still a lot of Pokemon that you can use as a counter pick or is a replacement if you don't have the ones we are mentioning, like Lucario or Melmetal or Bastiodon, because they are very hard to get in the Great League level. One good replacement is Blaziken.
Oh yeah, Blaziken.
Blaziken.
I love Blaziken, by the way.
I'm gonna use Blaziken when I go down. Yes. Blaziken is a good Lucario replacement. It's not as good as Lucario. It can beat Lucario because it survived that. I forgot how to shield over. It has counter, Brave Bird, and Focus Blast. If you have a Legacy Stone Edge, you should use that. It's not as good as Lucario, but it can do the job if you don't have one. Another good replacement for Charizard now is
Marowak.
Yeah,
that we're both using.
Yeah, Alolan Marowak has Hex, which charges very fast, and Bone Club, which charges very fast as well. It has 35 energy, so if you would notice that Bone Club charges very quickly, even on Hex. It has the second move that you should have is Shadow Ball, which a good stab move, a good go-to attack if you want a quick and powerful move. But
yeah, I'm gonna lose.
The problem with Marowak is you have to look out for Lucario's Shadow Ball, which is it is weak against.
Yeah, I miss it by that much. I could have won.
It's not as squishy or not as frail as Charizard, but it doesn't have that great offensive presence that Charizard has. So Charizard is still better, but if you don't have one, especially the Blast Burn one, you can opt for Marowak. Another big group that we are going to discuss that is not really in the meta, but it is still a relatively useful group, is the Water Ice variety.
Ooh.
Which is Lapras and Sileo. Lapras, unlike the Tempest one, Lapras should have the Water Gun just to beat the fire types like he's going to use first. If I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm doing Altaria, man.
Yeah, but the problem is
these are only my Kingdom Pokemon, so this is all I can use.
But unlike on Tempest Cup, though it does need Water Gun, it still need the Legacy Ice Beam, which I also have, but you're gonna shield. So what the heck?
Of course I'm gonna shield.
Yeah,
of course.
If the Altaria doesn't have a shield, it will have an easier time, but it's still a good Altaria counter. Another one that is a useful water ice type is Sileo, which I switched into. Sileo is still a great lead, but not as good compared to its Tempest because it does need to be scared of Lucario and sometimes even Charizard and Blaziken. So it's not really that useful compared to Tempest Cup, but it still needs the Powder Snow, Body Slam, and Aurora Beam. Because Powder Snow charges fast, but if you want a water type attacker, you can definitely opt for a Water Gun for Sileo, but it would not charge as fast. Since it is a lead that is a shield breaker, you would definitely want Powder Snow, but sometimes, like this instance where I need Water Gun to defeat Alolan Marowak, sometimes you would need Water Gun, and definitely you would have more instances that you would need Water Gun more than Powder Snow. Powder Snow is just for charge moves very good. Yes, but overall, they are not that useful, them in general, because most of them are only there for the Dragon types. And because of their ice typing, they're not really one of the best moves, because their ice typing hinders they have their fighting type weaknesses because of their ice types. Another great Pokemon that can be used in the Kingdom Cup is Steelix.
Yep, it's used back in the Tempest, and it's very bulky.
Yeah, it's very bulky, but it does have a good niche in this Kingdom Cup, because it is the only Pokemon that can wall Bastiodon and Melmetal because of its typing. But sadly, unlike Melmetal and unlike Bastiodon, its weakness is Charizard, which is you're using right now. This is a very, very weird steel type because it is the very polar opposite of Bastiodon and Melmetal. It's weak to Charizard, but it can wall them, those Bastiodons and Melmetal. So it's a great pick if you have a problem with them, if you have a certain Charizard that has a problem with them, it's a good partner for Charizard Steelix. You should have Dragon Tail, Earthquake, and Crunch for that. You can also opt for Heavy Slam instead of Crunch if you want a more stab option. But Crunch is relatively better, especially since it has a good neutral coverage. One of the few Pokemon that we can still mention for this is Kingdra. And let's finish this with Kingdra and Skarmory.
Oh, I see. Skarmory is still in, huh?
Yeah, it's not that great compared to its heyday in the Boulder and the Tempest, but because of the fire types and the fighting types, it's not going to be as good as stuff like Altaria and stuff like Bastiodon.
Yeah, I'm going down so quick.
Yeah, let's talk about Kingdra. Kingdra is fine. It has a Soul Dragon type weakness. It charges very slowly, but its damage output is very, very big. Are you attacking? Yeah. It can even do a decent damage on steel types. That's how good it is. It gets defeated by Altaria, but which you're using, because it charges very slowly compared to even Altaria can opt for Sky Attack and still win. It doesn't need to opt for Dragon Pulse. But yeah, Altaria is better, but you can still use Kingdra if you are lacking an Altaria for 100 candies, for 100 Swablu candies for Altaria. It should have Dragon Breath, Outrage, and Blizzard. You can also opt for Hydro Pump if you think Blizzard won't do any much for your coverage. Now, Skarmory. Skarmory is still in. It can wall Altaria for days.
It's doing it right now.
Yeah, but I'm going to lose, I think, because I don't have any shield.
Yeah.
You have shields. Skarmory's Air Slash Sky Attack. That's the given. And unlike Tempest Cup, you should not use Steel Wing because Ice types are not really that prominent in this meta. The only Ice type that is worth using are Water types. So it would have neutral damage. So unlike on Tempest, you should just opt for Air Slash just to charge that Sky Attack really quickly so you can defeat that Altaria.
Which you did, but I still have one.
Marowak, which doesn't have a fire type. Yeah, I think that's it regarding the.
Did I win? Oh,
Kingdom.
Fish! I thought
Kingdom
you still
Cup.
had. I thought I won.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that has been it. It's just a quick overview of the Kingdom meta.
I think we will discuss team building on our next podcast. We won't have a podcast. I don't know.
Maybe
I think
tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll record a podcast tomorrow and we'll go more in depth. Just an overview of the Kingdom meta. So we'll just finish this. See, look at this. I'm gonna lose. He has Steelix. He is obviously gonna win because Steelix is very bulky.
And you actually won when I'm not focusing. That's why I have a hard time on this. But this has been okay.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Yzma, for educating us with the Kingdom meta. It's 5:46 now. There is a Giratina raid that we have to go to. Anyway,
oh yeah, and before we go, you should look out for the next Go Hub article regarding this.
Yeah,
you might be even reading this via the Go Hub.
Yeah.
Reacting this via the Go
So
Hub
yeah,
article.
Yzma, if I haven't tell you, or if you do not know, he is one of the writers in Pokemon Go Hub.
If I haven't told you already, no, just kidding.
Oh
I
look,
don't
a
really...
Shinx raid! I have to do this, man.
Yeah, let's
Anyway.
do this Shinx Shade first.
Yeah, and then we'll go to the Giratina raid. Anyway, that has been it. Thank you for watching.
Do you do this one or is it trainer tips?
The
Yeah.
one? No, I don't do that. I just close it like this.
Yeah, because it would hurt. It would damage the GoPro.
Yeah.
Because
Anyway.
actually, there's a hole there.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Anyway,
guys.
That's it. That's been it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video tomorrow.
On our podcast.
Yeah, on our podcast. Anyway, bye.
Maybe
Bye.
the
Bye.
vlog.
Bye.